I received an email from Adam, and he is a very frustrated athlete right now because his top end sprint speed is not developing, even though he's putting in a ton of work. I wanted to kind of give a little bit of background about this conversation. Adam is training with a heart rate monitor, which made the evaluation criteria so much easier. If you follow me for any period of time, you know I'm a big fan of utilizing the Garmin heart rate platform, not only for performance, but also for recovery. With his question that came up today, we were able to reverse engineer why he wasn't getting his sprint speed to actually improve given the amount of work he was putting in. So hopefully I can create a little bit of clarity for you and have you look at your training the same way. When we look at your max heart rate, your max heart rate number needs to be evaluated specific to the sport that you're testing. I know that may sound crazy, but the more muscle you use, the higher the max heart rate number. So for example, in our triathlon segment, running is always going to be higher than swimming. Seems pretty obvious, right? Well, it doesn't seem so obvious when it comes to training with heart rate, because some people will take the wrong heart rate. They'll just take the highest number they've ever seen and apply it to all modalities. That's a huge mistake. Now, if I come back to the conversation of why is my sprint speed not getting better, even though I'm working on my sprint speed, the question is, are you getting the heart rate high enough to start to challenge and improve that energy system? So if you're using in the description box below here on YouTube, I've got a resource which is known as the heart rate spreadsheet. You plug in your maximum heart rate, you plug in your resting heart rate, and it auto-populates the spreadsheet to give you your 5 training zones. So stop and think about it. You may be out doing your sprint work, but you may not be getting the heart rate high enough to actually improve the energy system that's lacking. Now, there's a lot of science that goes into it. Maybe you're not able to get the heart rate high enough because you're not physically strong enough to go long enough to press the heart rate to be able to get that improvement you're looking for. Stop and think about that. To improve cardiovascular output, especially in the area of sprinting, you have to be both strong and you have to have an aerobic function, what we call an aerobic base. That becomes a little bit of a catch-22, because if you're able to deliver oxygen very, very efficiently, you have a big aerobic engine, you're going to be putting more of a physical demand on the muscles to get the heart rate high enough to get the physiological adaptation you're looking for. Think about that conceptually. It's not hard to get across. I'm just going to use a loose number. You're trying to get into above a heart rate of 175. You get to 162, 165, 168, and your muscles give out. Well, that's a physical strength issue. Your cardiovascular system, your sprint speed, never got improved because the muscles gave out before you got there. So I want you to see the dichotomy. People think the only way to go fast is to always go fast. Well, you've got to know quantifiably, where does that, from an internal intensity standpoint, where does that number actually begin, and are you able to get beyond it? Which, by the way, you don't want to be going 8-10 beats beyond it. That's a little bit too far. That's a subject for another video. So just wanted to answer the question and the frustration. And the cool part about this is when you know where that threshold is at, you can train there more effectively and start to gain confidence on how it feels. Because now you get what we call the familiarity principle engaged, where you're not so scared of the unknown. That's hence the word, the familiarity principle. I'm not advocating that every workout is at a high intensity, but when you do have to go there in racing, we want to have spent enough time there in cross-training that we're not intimidated by it. Great question as always. If you happen to have a question, please do me a favor and send it directly to me. contact@coachrobb.com. We're going to be answering a video every day, so please turn on the notifications. Please subscribe. We would appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.